Welcome to something to talk about.
Yeah, really loud.
Welcome to something to talk about.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I'm here to talk about Robett Glover. Let's talk about the difference, right? So this is when I take a character from the Game of Thrones show, which is Robett Glover, and then the Song of Ice and Fire novels and all the other stuff. And I'm going to cover Robett's time in the show. First, I'm going to tell you guys about House Glover. And we're talking about who they are on the show, and then the book, and then the differences. And this is a weird one. We'll get to why. This was a request from a Real Talker Walk. Thank you. Guy's been requesting for like years now. So, yeah. All right, let's go. Robett Glover. House Glover. House Glover of Deepwood Mott is a noble house from the north. It is among principal houses sworn to the Starks of Winterfell. Galbart Glover, the master of Deepwood Mott, is located in the Galbart Glover is the master of Deepwood Mott, which is located in the northwestern Wolveswood. House Bull, Branch, Forrester, and Woods of the Wolveswood are sworn to the Glovers. Their awesome sigil is a silver mailed fist on scarlet. Yeah, I love that sigil. The Glovers ruled as first men kings after a long night, but were eventually reduced to vassals by the Kings of Winter, House Stark. Yeah, there they are, Deepwood Mott. So, I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to be covering what's going on at Deepwood Mott too much. I'm just going to be following Robett. If you're wondering about Sybelle, his wife, I will be covering her eventually. Not anytime soon, but she is on the list. She's not too far down the list. And I will... Yeah, so like, if you're like, well, what's going on at Deepwood Mott? What about his family? Wait for the other video. I'm covering all that. I'm talking about Robett, and I'm talking about the difference. And right now, I'm talking about the show. Want to join? So, Game of Thrones, in the Game of Thrones, Robert is portrayed by Tim McLearney. Robett is the brother of the Lord of the House, Galbart. Robert succeeds Galbart after he dies in the War of the Five Kings. Lord Robett Glover is now the head of House Glover. So we see him for the first time in season 6. So think about that. Most of the book stuff has already ended, right? So this is after that. This is season 6 stuff. So yeah, we do not meet Robett until then. We see him for the first time in season 6. Jon Snow, Sansa, and Davos secretly meet with Robett to try to gain his support against House Bolton. He tells them to kick rocks because the Boltons helped retake Deepwood Mott back from the Ironborn. He's like, no, the Boltons actually helped me. He asks who they have, like, who do you guys already got? And Jon's like, oh, the Mormonts, some wildlings, and Robert's, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Kick rocks, dude. He tries to walk away. Sansa then brings up House Glover's pledge to House Stark. She's like, well, your family said they were going to help us and stuff, dude. And yeah, he says that pledge was honored when his brother marched south with Robb to his death. He's like, yeah, we paid that pledge. My brother's dead now. And the Starks were not there when the Ironborn killed his family. And then he's like, yeah, deuces, leave me alone. So then the Battle of the Bastards happened without House Glover helping, and they do end up defeating House Bolton. Robett travels with other northern lords to Winterfell afterwards, where Lyanna Mormont scolds him, Wyman Manderly, and Clay Kerwin, whoever that is, for refusing to help the Stark cause. She's like, yeah, she gives one of her amazing Lyanna Mormont speeches. He then bends the knee and apologizes for being, a butt. He's like, yeah, sorry for not participating. And yeah, then he pledges his alliance to Jon and House Stark. So there we go. Let's keep going. So that was season 6. Let's get into 7 and 8. All right, here we go. Kind of helps. I don't know. That's maybe being a little generous. Along with the rest of the Lords of the North and the Vale, Robett meets with the King of the North to plan the coming war against the White Walkers. When Jon states that all the Northerners will be fighting, Robett initially objects the idea to women fighting. He's like, yeah, everybody. Old men, old ladies, whatever. Everyone's going to maybe not fight, but they're going to be part of the war effort. He's like, yeah. He's like, no, we're all going to help. Especially his granddaughter. He's like, yeah, my granddaughter's not going to fight. And it comes around to the idea after Lyanna Mormont's like, well, I'm going to support, I'm going to let lame old dudes like you do it. And he's like, fine. I'm tired of being shamed by Lyanna Mormont. Me too. He supports Jon's decision on pardoning Alys Kaulstark and Ned Umber. Yeah, much to Sansa's chagrin. All right. Robett is pleasant when Jon convenes another meeting at Winterfell. There, Robett reads Samuel Tarly's letter regarding the vast amount of dragonglass on Dragonstone. And despite the wishes of Robett and other northern lords, Jon still departs Winterfell, heading down there, leaving Sansa as Lady Regent of the North. Well, Jon and Daenerys are mining dragonglass, if you know what I mean. Robett tells Sansa that Jon's absence has shown his arrogance as king. He's like, yeah, he's not even here. What a loser. Implying that Sansa herself should take his place. Sansa rejects that and stresses Jon's actions are essential. Like, yeah, he's getting the weapons we need. Leave me, kick rocks. I'm going to keep saying that. Privately, Arya then suggests killing the troublesome lords. Arya's like, why don't we just murder them? And she's like, no. But then she is rebuffed by Sansa. Sansa's like, we don't just kill the lords we don't like. And Arya's like, I do that all the time. Remember the phrase? Arya later observes Robett speaking with Lord Jan Royce and Littlefinger. All right, book readers are like, it's like, in what world would Bronze Jan, Robett Glover, and Littlefinger be conspiring? Show stuff. Isn't it wacky? Ain't it wacky? Yeah, so this is prompting her to suspect that Littlefinger is plotting to overthrow Jon. So they overthrow Littlefinger, right? They kill him. Okay, so Jon, all right, no, sorry. Now we're at season 7 stuff, and then so that was season 7 stuff. Ugh. And now we're at season 8 stuff. Ugh. When Jon steps down as king of the North, he's like, nah, I'm kind of like dating Danny now. Robett returns to Deepwood Motte with no intention of assisting the Starks in the Great War, much to Jon's anger. He's like, yeah, deuces, I'm going home. So that's it. That's book version of Robett. Now for something completely different. Yeah, no, all right, let's talk about Robett Glover now. All right, let's talk about book Robett Glover. All right, let's go. Robett Glover. He is a member of House Glover. He is the brother to Galbart Glover and the husband of Sybelle Glover and father of 2 children, Gawen and Erena. There we go. I got nothing for Erena. Erena. Yeah. All right. Robert is tall with deeply lined face and brown gray hair. Whew, getting there, buddy. He wears mail beneath his red surcoat, and his scarlet cloak is clasped with a silver brooch in the shape of the mailed fist. Arya Stark believes him to be a lord when she first sees the proud way he holds his head. Yeah, we'll get to when Arya checks him out later. But yeah, he walks lordly. I'm a lord. Hi. Robett Glover. No, not Robert. Robett. Why? I don't know. All right, let's go. Calling the banners. When Robb Stark calls his banners, both Robett and his brother Galbart ride out from Deepwood Motte, leaving it in the hands of Robett's wife, Sybelle, and the castle stewards. Robb's Lord of Bannerman haggle over influence on military decisions at Winterfell. Both Robett and Lord Roose Bolton demanding command. No, they're demanding command. Notably, Robert does this with a jest and a smile, and he's nice about it. Hey, why don't I take charge? Well, Roose Bolton is gruff. He's like, let me take charge, you young little wolf pup. Or whatever. Well, he wouldn't say it that way. Roose Bolton's like, why don't I take charge, you young little wolf pup? Roose. All right. Yeah, so the Great John, where was I? At Mount Caelan, Robb and his bannermen consult on military tactics. Great John argues for riding against the main Lannister hosts led by Tyrion Lannister, while Robett and Galbart and others suggest to attack Jaime Lannister at Riverrun. Well, Catelyn arrives at Mount Caelan from White Harbor. Robett is among those who greet her, kneeling before her. When she speaks with Robb alone, Catelyn names Robett as a possible candidate for that her son could have chosen to lead the entire Northern Army and not decided to ride out himself. But he's like, dude, I have to act like the King of the North. I could not have just sent them. No, I have to be King of the North here. Robett is with Robb when the news arrived that Lord Walder Frey has gathered 4,000 men at the Twins without any apparent indication of a moving south river run. It's like, yeah, he just got a big host and we don't know what it's for. Robett asks Catelyn whether she believes that Walder will betray them for the Lannisters. She says that not even a Walder himself knows what he is going to do. he's probably going to betray them for us and then betray. He's Walder, dude. He's going to be late. That's all we know. When Robb's army splits at the Twins, and Catelyn negotiates an alliance with Walder, Robett becomes part of Roose Bolton's force that goes on to battle at the Battle of the Green Fork against Tywin's main host. There you guys go. Man, I always forget to say spoilers. I've been thinking about this lately. People have been telling me I don't really do it much. So this is a spoiler for everything that happens in the show and the book. I should have said that at the beginning. Heren Hall. During Arya's time at Heren Hall, after Lord Tywin marches from the castle, Vargo, Hote of the Brave Companions, brings in a group of ragged prisoners led by Robett and Aenys Frey. Vargo claims they were captured when the Brave Companions repelled an attempt by Roose Bolton's forces to cross the Trident. Yeah, so Roose tries to cross the Trident, and the Brave Companions stop it and take some hostages. That's what he's claiming, right? So Amory Lorch, left by Tywin as Castellan of Heren Hall, orders the captives be brought to the dungeon, ignoring a protest by Robett that they are promised honorable treatments. Now, this is going to get confusing here, but it is. Recognizing them as Northmen, Arya liberates the captives with the assistance of Jaqen H'ghar, Biter, and Rorge. Robett congratulates Jaqen on the trick of making the guards defenseless by burning them with hot soup, inquiring whether it was Vargo's idea. The Brave Companions had defected from the Lannisters to the Starks at the exact same time, right? So Robert expected to be freed by Vargo's men, not these random strangers with Arya. Rorge claims that they are Brave Companions. Why not? And Robett is disinterested when Arya identifies herself as Weasel. So, yeah, Robett stops paying attention to Arya after that. Having infiltrated Heren Hall's walls, Robett's Northmen join the Brave Companions in overpowering the small army of Lannister garrison. Following the fall of Heren Hall, Robett is among those who welcome Roose Bolton in the following evening. Robett rides out of the castle soon, leaving Arya not enough time to come to the decision whether or not she can trust him with her identity. Yeah, she's like, maybe I should go tell Robett Glover that I'm Arya Stark and not Weasel. And then he leaves before she can make that decision. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Soup, she's like, I'm going to free these Northmen. You guys have to help. And there's this whole thing, and then they do it. And she doesn't know that there's literally like a coup going on at the same time. And they all knew a coup was going to happen. But Robett's like, hey, what's with the Soup? I thought you guys were just going to kill the guards. Are you Brave Companions? And the Roach is like, yeah, why not? And yeah, so it's like no one even notices that Arya attempted this coup. Yeah. So anyways, march on Duskendale. What? Following Tywin's victory over to the Stannis Baratheon at the Battle of the Blackwater, that happened over there, Roose orders Robett to join Helman Tallheart and march on Duskendale, the Glover's seat. On Duskendale. That's not the Glover seat. Sorry. They're going to march on Duskendale. That's what Roose wants them to do. The Glover seat, Deepwood Mont, has now been taken by Asha Greyjoy, and Helman has lost his Benfrid, which is his family member. So Roose expects the two will take vengeance on Duskendale. So Roose is kind of manipulating Robett and Helman Tallheart to go march on Duskendale. It's Roose's like idea, and he's like, hey, they took Deepwood Mod. Hey, they killed, the other Tallheart. Why don't you go and, take your vengeance on Duskendale? And it works. That dumb idea works. All right. Tywin Lannister soon finds out about the march on Duskendale. Tywin orders Lord Randyll Tarly, who's now into the fold because of the, after Battle of the Blackwater, the High Tower, or not High Towers, the Tyrells and Lannisters marriages. You guys know what's going on. All right. So he's like, hey, Randyll Tarly, go march on them. And then he commands Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, to move up the Kingsguard and cut them off on their retreat. So when Tywin's son Tyrion learns about this, he is surprised. He's like, this seems like there's nothing in Duskendale worth this risk. And he's like, is this the first time Robb Stark is making a blunder? But he doesn't know Robb has nothing to do with this, and it's just Roose being a butthole. The Battle of Duskendale turns into a disaster for the Northmen. The forces of Lord Tarly catch up with Robert's men outside of Duskendale, trapping them along the Blackwater Bay. The fighting breaks out with heavy losses on both sides, but the forces loyal to the Iron Throne prevail, and Helman is among 1,000 Northern men killed. So yeah, another Tallheart bites the dust. Robett leads a chaotic retreat towards Heren Hall, not expecting to be faced with the Mountain's men on the way. Brutal. So he gets taken captive. Whew. All right. He did what? Yeah. So when Robb learns about this defeat and Robett's capture, he is confused. He's like, what? I didn't tell them to do this? Wondering why his forces marched on Duskendale in the first place. How how that campaign justified losing a third of his infantry. Yeah, he took a third of his army. The infantry part. Robb intends to exchange Robett for Martin Lannister, who is the son of Tyrion's brother, Kevin, as Martin's twin brother, Willem, has already been murdered by Rickard Karstark. You guys know that story. Well, in captivity. It provides the opportunity for Robb to rid himself of the concern that Martin will be slaughtered by Northmen as well. Yeah, oof. And then Tywin agrees to Robb's offer, and Robett is put on a ship at Duskendale. Martin is headed over to the Lannisters at the Golden Tooth. Is handed over to the Lannisters at the Golden Tooth. So yeah, there's a successful prisoner exchange going on, and that's how Robett gets free. When Robb's host gathers at the Twins for Lord Edmure Tully's wedding, Robb meets Roose Bolton. And commanding the regiments of Robb's foot, Robb tells Roose that Robett will have to answer for Duskendale while they meet again. So Roose plays into Robb's mistaken belief that the campaign came on Robert's initiative, suggesting that Robett acted, I said Robert that last time, Robett acted out of grief and fear that his wife and children have been, his wife and children, when he heard about Duskendale had been taken by the Ironborn. Yeah, he completely believed. He's like, why did Robett do this? Roose is like, oh, well, it's grief, and he's taking vengeance, and he's saying all this bullcrap, and it's all lies because he's the one who ordered them to do it, right? So yeah. So then after that, Roose then red weddings Robb during the red wedding. There we go. Wow. All right. But we're not done with Robett yet. He's still in the story. So like I said, he got into a ship. He went up north. Where did he go? To White Harbor. Davos Seaworth, an envoy to Stannis Baratheon, this is in one of his chapters, and it's a fantastic chapter, learns that Robett arrived in White Harbor after the prisoner exchange and tried to raise men. However, he had little success as Lord Wyman Manderly and White Harbor reportedly weary of war, publicly supporting King Tommen Baratheon and House Frey. Yeah, the land or the the Manderlys are like, no. We're all pro Lannister here. No, we're not doing any war, Robett Glover, right? So Wyman has Davos imprisoned in the Wolf Den. A haggard Robett escorts Davos Seaworth to a secret meeting in the Newcastle with Wyman. Yeah, it's a really awesome. Like I said, I've talked about this before. Go check out my Wex Pike story video on this. Like, I've talked about kind of just how awesome this whole scenario is, where Wyman says he has to go poo and then sneaks over and has like this secret meeting with Robett Glover, Wex, and Davos Seaworth. Oh my god, this chapter is so good. It's gonna be a close one. All right. Where was I? Yeah, so he escorts, Newcastle. Wyman, however, when they discuss the possibility of White Harbor allying itself with Stannis, Robett expresses his gratitude when he learns Stannis defeated Asha in the fight for Deepwood Mott. See, there's a difference right there. It was Stannis who takes back Deepwood Mott, not the Boltons, and returned the castle to House Glover. He has been teaching Wex Pike, a survivor of the sack of Winterfell, to read and write, which provides him and Wyman with information that Robb's younger brothers, Bran and Rickon, survived the sack as well, and that Rickon has gone to Skagos. Whoa! Robett claims that he will join Stannis when Davos returns with Rickon. Dun dun dun! It's like, yeah, definitely the best cliffhanger. One of the best cliffhangers of the book, and I can't wait to see what happens if Davos goes to Skagos or not. But yeah, that's the end of Robett's story. So, differences. Yeah, all of it. Literally all of it. So, yeah, differences. Dude, all of it. The book stuff mostly ends around season 5. So, they bring him in season 6. So they completely leave out all the stuff that Robett does in his stories, all of his storylines. And I don't think the show is a very accurate prediction of how he will act in the future. Hell no. No, not at all. Robett is a very capable leader, and he seems like a strong Stark supporter. Nothing like how he is shown or the show has portrayed him. And yeah, this was a request from Real Talker Walk, like I said. And I also, like I said while I was reading it, yeah, he says in the show, like, no, we're loyal to the Boltons because the Boltons helped us get rid of the Ironborn. Stannis does that in the books. So that's why he's like, yeah, we'll hear Stannis out, but we really want you to go and get Rickon. So, yeah, there you guys go. Robett Glover. Thank you, Real Talker Walk, one more time. And yeah, what'd you guys think? That's it. Very different. Not even close. That is I feel like they're like, oh, we need a northerner to scheme and do stuff. And it's like, have we used Robett? All right, Robett it is. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, you have a good one. And yeah, peace.